Was Abraham Lincoln a president?
Yes.
Oh, I thought he was just a whatever public figure.
Welcome back to Delulu Diaries, where the timelines don't match, but the receipts always do. It's been about a week since my last update video on Amberlynn, so let's just go ahead and get straight into the tea. First and foremost, as we already discussed, Emily has deleted all of her photos of Amberlynn on her Instagram, but since then she has also changed her profile picture to not include Amber on both Instagram as well as TikTok. Additionally, usually she posts these little throwbacks of her and Amber actually being together, and it's always something that I've noted because it's mostly them either at the casino or at restaurants, which I think is kind of humorous. But I don't usually talk on it because it's kind of boring old stale news or whatever. However, she has not been posting her Amberlynn throwbacks the way that she usually does. The last couple videos she's posted have been nature-related videos. So I'm thinking that there could be trouble in paradise, which, as we all know, is kind of a nothing burger. They're like a high school couple. They literally will break up and get back together so quickly that half the time I can't even get a video out before the confirmation status changes. That being said, the reason that I think that it's worth talking about this time is because of everything that we're going to talk about in this video all kind of loops together. For once, something cohesive is happening in Amber's life where every little piece is all connected. So in order to get into that a little bit deeper, I want to talk about the LCU Discord. Again, as we talked about last time, she was in the LCU Discord. However, at this time, she is no longer in the LCU Discord. She has chosen to leave by herself. She did not get kicked. She chose to leave. My understanding of what happened is that she got into it with a host on the LCU Fire show. I'm not 100% sure if that is accurate. I know that somebody said she got into a fight with a host, and then there was a post from LCU Fire that makes me think that that was the host that she got into it with, but I'm not exactly sure who it was. But from what I've heard, there was a host on a show that was really irritated about Amber's Discord scandal. I don't even like to call it scandal because it is more serious than that, but if you know about the whole thing about her having these 18 plus photos in a server that was open to everyone, including children, that's what I'm referring to. And so basically things got a little too heated for her in the Discord with people coming at her with allegations about either her supporting that kind of lifestyle or her participating in that kind of thing. And so she just opted to leave the Discord server. We'll get into what that may mean for her LCU career in a little bit, but first I want to read this post from LCU Fire. I am going to have to replace some of the words to make it a little more YouTube friendly, but I'm going to put the post up on the screen, so if you want to see the actual terminology that they used, you will be able to do so. So since Keem wants to be up and delete my post saying bye to y'all, here's everything I wanted to say but never could. Amberlynn Reed and had CSAM in her server. She asked a minor to show herself in a swimsuit on her YouTube channel. She defended PDFs on Ask.fm. I'm happy I bullied out of the server. I hope that comes back for round 2 and KOs your ass. Beck deserved better. Rarity deserved better. Tommy is a overeating enthusiast. Abby is the GOAT. Daniel, you done crying? Enjoy your fake marriage. So obviously this host did have an issue with Amber. I don't know what happened with LCU Fire. I don't know if this host has been fired themselves or what's going on with that, but I have put the pieces together to where I believe that this is the host that she got into an altercation with. Basically, if that is accurate to where Amber was getting these allegations thrown at her in the Discord to the point where they got serious enough for her to leave, which keep in mind, I didn't see anything firsthand. I just get information through my email as well as looking around online. So, I could be a little bit off base or have the details wrong, but this is my understanding. It would make sense for Amber and Emily to be having trouble in paradise because, as we all remember, the one thing that Emily really doesn't mess around with is that she does not want anything to happen that's going to affect her ability to see her child. And so if these allegations are getting more serious, which, as I said, when she had her Discord open, people were reporting her to authorities, both local and federal employees. So she has been getting some people looking at the case. Whether it's going to actually go anywhere or not, I truly do not know. But with everything coming back up again and getting serious again, it would make sense that Emily would start to pull away and not want to be involved as much with Amber, because that is the kind of thing that courts look at when they're determining who is able to see their child and doing like arrangements like that, because it's not about like internet drama and stuff like that. It's actually about doing what's best for the child. So if you're with somebody who has allegations like this against them, it would not be in the child's best interest to be allowed to be around you. And so if they're dating, which I know that they do like pretty much long distance where they just see each other like one day out of a year, it seems like, but still a court is going to look into the relationships of the people that may have custody of a child. And so that is my opinion, unsubstantiated, but just based on what we have going on, that makes the most amount of sense to me as to why they would be arguing and not in a good place right now. Because yes, there is the stuff going on with Zio. However, they already patched that up once, so I feel like it would be weird for them to be going through that again and have a different result, when it seemed pretty clear to me that Emily was willing to ditch Zio if it meant that she was going to be able to be with Amber. So what does this mean for the LCU? I don't think anything's changed. I personally believe that Amber is still waiting for August to be remonetized. I believe that Keem is doing what he can behind the scenes to help that along in whatever way he can. Now, people in my comments have been speculating different levels of how Keem can help, whether he actually knows somebody there or not at YouTube that can help him with this. And at the end of the day, with how little Amber is willing to put in any effort, even somebody with no contacts could help her to be monetized, because she just doesn't have any good business sense. So regardless of what contacts Keem may or may not have at YouTube, I do believe that he is trying to get her monetized, because the LCU is a dumpster fire right now. Like, things are not going well, and I don't think that a lot of it is manufactured drama. I mean, the things going on the show probably are, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think that the stuff between Rosie and Zay is manufactured. Clearly, they just lost a LCU Fire host over this whole situation. So, you know, just a lot of shows are kind of having trouble. I do check in on the LCU subreddit, and people over there have even been talking about how much the LCU is in trouble. So I'm just saying that it would make sense for him to want to bring Amber back no matter what the cost is, because it seems like the shows are all not doing well right now. So regardless of if Amber is in the LCU Discord or not, I do believe that her plans to get back onto the LCU, whether that be on the LCU on YouTube or the LCU on Kick, I think that that still stands, because she's going to need to make money somehow. And speaking of making money, her cameos are currently unavailable. I've seen a lot of people speculating that she got kicked off the platform. That is not the case, because they still will let you send a $5 message to her. If she had like violated terms of service or something, it was kicked off, it would not have that option available. They wouldn't be letting you pay her for stuff that they knew they weren't going to allow her back on the platform to do. So my theory is that with everything going on with Emily, she has either decided to temporarily disable it, or if you hit the cap of how many requests you allow, it also will show the unavailable message. So it is possible she has just hit the cap for how many cameos she's willing to fulfill, and so it displays the unavailable message. But realistically, between her getting overwhelmed in the LCU Discord and whatever's going on with Emily, I think that it is likely that she has temporarily put a pause on her cameos. The last thing I want to touch on is this leaked Discord call. It's not as annoying as the ones that you guys have heard in the past. It's very easy to follow. So if you don't like hearing people talk over each other, don't worry. It's not one of those. It's actually very straightforward. So I'm going to go ahead and insert the clip, and then I'm going to pause so that we can talk about it. Just keep in mind, if you are watching, that we're going to see the members of Nevermore reacting to a video clip. So part of it is live and part of it is like a played back video. So just like I said, keep that in mind, but let's go ahead and get into it.
God, even what was said.
To do it, I did.
Right
Did you know?
there.
Amber, don't you watch my video? Oh, she probably don't. Amber already did.
You hear it?
I don't watch any of you guys.
I didn't call him
Ryan's
out.
your best friend.
No
Well,
one's
I
my
like
best friend.
her way better than y'all.
Did you see
But
Amber? Did you see the video
He
he
said he
made?
likes
He
her better
leaked
than us.
mine and your DMs today.
So
well,
is this
it was to
why?
expose you. There's nothing of hers that go ahead and watch Amber. There's nothing really exposed of your DMs.
The title was Amberlynn Exposed Discord Leaks. That was literally your title.
I exposed the Discord leaks because you're trying to drama content us. That's what it's meaning.
So obviously we're hearing Christina and Gemini. The third guy is Life of Ron. I believe this call takes place in their server, but I'm a little bit shaky on exactly where this is taken from. I just know it's in a Discord that Amber is a part of, and as you can hear, nothing has changed from the last set of Discord leaks. She still has this very mopey tone on, which kind of supports the fact that she might be, you know, going through it with Emily, where she's trying to sympathy bait by being super sad about the situation or whatever. But that's beside the point. Let's keep going.
First
Okay,
off,
Ron.
let me make this very clear for the people in the back listening, okay?
Who's in the back
Alright.
listening?
I don't
Well,
know
hold on.
whoever
Amber,
fucking
I made a
Ron
video
fucking
calling
Ross
them out.
Discord. Okay, in the
I'm
back
not.
for whoever's
I said I
listening.
didn't yesterday, and I didn't, or it would have
Okay.
been in my video.
Alright. I
Yes,
don't
what?
associate with child, okay?
Who's the
I don't
child?
know what content this is going to bring, but I'm just here to ask her how many children she exploited last week. Like, is this a daily occurrence? Like, have you gone and seeked help for this?
You guys
like,
called me a child predator a week ago.
you're associated with one,
I've
aren't
never
you?
child.
Clearly, Christina is trying to get Ron to understand the fact that Amber has a very shady past at best with minors. And Ron is trying to say, oh, well, like those allegations aren't substantiated. They're about to talk about the Discord, but I think it's very interesting how Ron, who is known for sending money to other larger people in exchange for certain content, is trying to see Amber in a nice light, which makes me think this may be another way that she's earning money, because why else would she come up on here sounding so sad but still be present for the call? It kind of sounds like she comes when Ron calls, if that makes sense. Again, pure speculation, but let me know what you guys think about that down below, because I just think it's really interesting how much he's going to bat for her. Now, he says that part of the reason he doesn't believe them is because they've said the same thing about him. However, I think Christina brings up a valid point. For the most part, I don't think that you associating with somebody who does something means that you do that same thing. But when it becomes something so serious as allegations surrounding how you're treating children, I absolutely do think that that would be very difficult to swallow. If I knew that there was somebody that I was associating with where a large number of people were saying they were being inappropriate with children, I wouldn't want to maintain that friendship. So I think Christina's making a valid point. Not to mention, it's not that they're like substantiated to a certain degree, but we can all see the retro reacts to how Amber was with Libby when Libby was on screen. Amber filmed while Libby was in the shower. Granted, she didn't put Libby, you know, clothesless on the internet. However, it was still inappropriate to put a minor in that situation because I believe Libby was 15, possibly 16 at that time, but in that age range. She also made Libby show her bikini on screen. Libby clearly did not really want to, but Amber was like, oh, well, you should. So regardless of what's going on with the Discord now, you can see that there is evidence of Amber not protecting minors in the past.
Anybody.
Hold on, but aren't you friends with one? Wouldn't you start? Okay,
But just
if
because people say it, just because you guys are saying it, doesn't mean
Ron, look.
I told you I need proof. You can't just tell me she's this.
Okay,
or
that's
this.
fine. That's fine. I was in the Discord. I seen the shit with my own eyes. That's proof enough for me. I have children. I care about my life and my children's life.
So, Ron, would you like to hear, like, my side?
Yes, please let Amber talk, please, everybody. And then if you have a question, if she wants to answer, she'll answer. If she don't, she won't. All right, go ahead, Amber.
So, I made my Discord public to everybody. Like, there was no... Yeah, it was scary. We had over 3,000 people in there, like, in less than 5 days. I was not expecting it at all.
Right off the bat, I don't like the victim voice, but also, what do you mean you weren't expecting it? Like, Amber knows what her platform looked like. She knows how many people paid to be part of the LCU Discord in order to interact with her. Her Discord was free for a period of time. She knew how many people were going to be going in there. So I don't think that that's an excuse. I have known people who've made servers, like Discord servers, for a much smaller fan base, and they went in prepped and ready with like 3 or 4 mods, realizing that they were not going to have a huge influx. There is no excuse for Amber to not have a large number of mods. And in a second here, she's going to say that she had 25 people in there. And it's hard to hear Christina because she's talking over the video. But Christina holds up her hands and says something like she never had more than, and then you can't hear the number. But I've had people tell me that she had 6 mods in that server, and Christina's holding up 6 fingers. So I think it's fair to say that Amber will say that she had 25 mods, she had 6. There's no way she didn't know that that was going to be a very popular server. She should have been more prepared than having 6 people to moderate.
I was in there for 5 minutes. I was like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, and people were posting racist things. People were posting transphobic things, homophobic, like the list goes on, right? Those things are bad. And those people were banned. When my mod saw it, when I saw it, we would ban, right?
No, they
But
weren't.
see, I'm getting emotional
you
because it's
pause
so
for a sec?
fucked. But
Can you pause for
really,
a sec? Okay, because I didn't get a chance you'll see, I didn't get a chance to even rebuttal any of this. Okay, I made a fucking scene on the internet for 4 days before you did something with that Discord, okay? Thank you.
and those people were banned. When my mod saw it, when I saw it, we would ban, right? But see, I'm getting emotional because it's so but really,
All right, y'all, hold on.
but what made me close the server
if y'all really have hearts, like, don't content. Like, talk to her. If you want to content after this, whatever, but, like, come on, for real.
What made me close the server was, like, I didn't see any of it myself.
This is how she pisses me off so freaking bad every time. What do you mean you didn't see any of it? You didn't see any of it yourself? Come on now. People were talking about it online, and we know Amber reads stuff online. Like Christina said, people were talking for days, if not weeks, before Amber actually took action. Because I know for a fact, before I heard anybody talk about stuff going on in there, I heard people say, oh my gosh, you know, things will go on in there. So, you know, depending on how you want to look at it, whether it was before stuff happened or after stuff happened, Amber had a heads up that this was not a good idea for her to be doing this on her own. And then she wants to say multiple times, I'm getting emotional. She's only emotional about it because of the fact that she is getting backlash for the way that she handled it. If she actually felt some type of way, she would have did something from day one. There is no reason she should have kept that server open. As soon as she saw 3,000 people join, if she wants to use the excuse that she didn't know so many people were going to join really quick, she should have temporarily shut it down to get things fixed. So that was option A. Option B, if she kept it going, was that she saw people talking about this stuff online. Ergo, she would have known to shut it down then because people were talking about it. Also, let's not forget, people send her all kinds of stuff firsthand. People will add her, send her direct messages. You can @ people on Discord. So if you're not a Discord user, if somebody wants you to see something, you can do @ and then their name, and it will draw their attention to it. So there's no way that it took her 4 days to see something or that she never saw anything personally, because if you're not in there to the extent that you're not checking your DMs, you're not checking your @s, you're not seeing anything when this stuff was apparently all over the place, what do you mean? You're just not in there at all? I don't believe that for a second. I think she did see things firsthand. And in fact, she kind of tells on herself because she says that when she would see stuff, she would delete it. But then she says she never saw anything firsthand. So which one is it? You would see stuff and delete it and ban, so you're being a good server moderator? Or you never saw it, so you weren't even in the server? Which one is it? Make it make sense.
Okay, I had 25 mods who were like doing this as if it was their full-time job, and I'm so grateful. But people were purposely trying to post very inappropriate things to the server to get me in trouble. Right? And so my mods are trying to be so quick and so on top of it that I didn't even see any of it, right? But then once the allegations kept getting worse and worse, and people kept trying harder and harder to get my server nuked. They were going, I guess, more extreme. And I was like, this just isn't even worth it for me. Because I'm not that person. But I was that child. Does that make sense?
I'm sorry, just real quick, I'm going to need to listen to that again, because this is what Amber has to say in regards to people, by her account, trying to nuke her server by posting inappropriate content regarding children. Let's run that back.
They were going, I guess, more extreme. And I was like, this just isn't even worth it for me.
For you? It's not worth it for you? What about the victims of this? Because there have been several allegations. Some of them are that minors themselves were posting inappropriate things, in which case, why wouldn't you say, the second that I realized that children were putting themselves in harm's way, I was very concerned and didn't want this to continue. Then you have allegations of people posting photos of children that they are not children themselves. In which case, why would you not be like, oh my gosh, I felt absolutely disgusted that these kinds of people were in my server and I knew it needed to be shut down. And then third of all, you have the slightly more innocent but still not great thing of people talking about having adult relationships before being adults, which is basically bait to get that type of person into your server, which can be accidental. But, just saying that's something that we are supposed to teach kids, is not to talk about those kinds of experiences. Whether you're 17 and you're close to being an adult or not, whatever, that is the kind of thing that does bait people who want to cause harm to kids to come into an area. So for her to say that it wasn't worth it for her, that shows you right then and there what her mindset is. She thinks that this is all something that was done to her, about her, which even if it is, because I'm not willing to dispute the fact that there is a certain amount of this that is going on because it's Amberlynn. That being said, why is your concern not on the kids and it's on your feelings? Like, she is just so like, oh my gosh, people wanted to ruin this for me. Girl, there are actual kids who are being affected by the stuff that was going on in there.
So it gets like super triggering for me. Like,
Okay, let me just stop you right there. I do not believe one tear that is coming out of your eye, okay? From a child that really had bad shit happen to them, okay? Exactly. Her. Gonna cry here. Ron, do not feel bad for them alligator tears. I swear to God, Ron.
Christina, how do you know though?
Because time and
Reed,
time
everybody
again,
knows her tears are fake.
Gemini, you had heart for her at one point. Come on, dude.
No, I did. Listen, I felt
okay,
bad
but do
for
you
her.
have a heart?
Okay.
Like, I know you do
No.
somewhere in that little demon.
Okay, listen. I can be honest. I felt bad for her for a long time. I did not want to be mean to her for a long time, okay? She did this by the way she did it to me, okay? And Gemini fucking destroyed us, fucking tried to turn everybody against us, fucking doing shicey shit, being fucking sneaky, being a horrible, horrible person, okay?
To that last part, this is where I think that the Am babies come from, because I do see people in my comments all the time like, I can't believe people support her. I can't believe that there's people who haven't like opened their eyes. I think that where Ron is coming from shows exactly why there are people like that. Granted, I do think that a lot of people who like Amber are people who are like Amber and think that everything just happens to them. But generally speaking, most people who come to enjoy the reactors over time are people who want to give her a shot, who do see just the vlogs, the day in the lives, and that kind of makes them endeared to her. When they see all the hate, they're like, whoa, what the heck? This is a very average, mundane vlog. This person's getting so much hate. I bet it's just because of the size of her. And so that's where fans are born. And I think we can even see that a bit right now being proven true, because since she hasn't been doing the vlogs in a while, most people aren't starting off as Am babies or converting to Am babies. Yes, there still are some that were from before, but I do think that a large chunk of them were people who were watching when she was vlogging and weren't checking in to see what was going on with her anywhere else. That being said, I agree 100% with Christina that Amber can appear to be very nice and harmless, but the more you listen to her, the more you notice that, like, so much of what comes out of her mouth is a lie, and that doesn't even have to be speculation because she comes and admits that she lies all the time. She admits that she has BPD crash outs and she says stuff that's not true. She admits that she says stuff that doesn't make any sense. Even regarding, and I hate to say this, but even regarding her accounts of being taken advantage of as a child in the way that she's trying to refer to here, she has made so many holes in her story to the point where it is like Swiss cheese that it is very challenging to believe her. And I don't like to say that. Even if it's somebody that I don't like, I am willing to accept the fact that they could have experiences, and I really try to give the benefit of the doubt. With Amber, I truly sit on the fence, and I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me on that, but the fact of the matter is that her stories don't make sense, but she does also psychologically line up with somebody who that could have happened to, and so I don't really even like to speculate on if it happened or if it didn't happen, but I feel pretty confident saying that if it did happen, it did not happen in any way close to what she has told us on the internet. If it did happen, I believe that that is a secret that she has with her. That's all I'm going to say on it because, like I said, it just psychologically, there is some stuff going on that would point to the fact that it did happen. But like Christina said, Amber comes on and lies so frequently and makes up stuff that is horrible for a person for her own personal gain to the point where you can't have a heart when it comes to Amber. You know, it is so hard to try to be empathetic to her because she just does stuff that is so horrendous, and she lies about things that you would think that a person would never lie about, and it makes it very challenging to have empathy for her. I think that the only reason that Ron wants to have empathy for her, A, is because he is kind of that kind of personality on the internet where he wants drama, and so obviously what's going to be more dramatic, liking Amber or not liking Amber, and B, because I do believe that there is a possibility, again, speculation, my opinion, this is just something that I'm thinking up here. I think there is a possibility that he is paying her for a certain type of content and his mind does not want to wrap around the fact that she could be a horrible person on top of that. That's my personal opinion, but regardless, that is all of the updates I have for you guys today. Please let me know what you guys think. What do you think is going to happen with her shows on the LCU? What do you think about her leaving the LCU Discord? What do you think about the drama between her and Emily? Leave all that down in the comments below. I do try to reply to everybody. And if you made it this far, you already know. Stay Delulu, but not that Delulu. I'll catch you in the next one.